Alright, guys. Well, guess what? It's the final match of the GSL round of 8 Group B. Rogue in the top right side, resurrecting himself from the losers match. ZOUN, unfortunately, not able to get out of the winners match despite putting up a very impressive performance. And ZOUN's going to try and block him. I don't really like this move because Rogue is really good. He's going to cancel this Overlord. Look at this, guys. Cancels the Overlord, builds the hatchery, and he's got it. It's exactly what happened in their opening match. Remember, guys, ZOUN beat Rogue in that opening match. Very cheesy series, but it was a close one. And it all came down to Rogue. And that crazy comeback in game one was kind of insane. But then also the attempt to do it again in the final game, getting defended was good enough. The one-gate defense against the proxy hatch was impressive for ZOUN. I wonder if they play the exact same maps. It would be very wild if they do. Of course, last time, I think they started on... what was the first map last time? It was 10,000 feet, right? Because he tried to do the backdoor mineral mining cheese. Anyway, ZOUN's mineral harass is really good. If you're not as good at mineral harass, I really hate going for such an early probe. Especially if you know your opponent is good at cancelling that Overlord to get the hatchery. But so far, good situation. I do think ZOUN's a bit too predictable with the opening. I think this is a great map to play gas first, get a greedy start, and we really just want to see ZOUN hit Glaive Adept timings. You know Rogue's going to play +1 melee this game with like 90% chance. There's a very good chance he's going to play a lot of upgraded Zerglings in this series. He does it almost every game. And yeah, hate to be the backseater, but it's been about 3 months now of me watching Rogue get away with murder in this matchup. And I mean, I like watching Rogue get away with murder. I think he's a very fun player to watch, but I kind of want to see the players counter his thing and then him show us how to counter the counter. That's where Rogue's at his finest. Adept coming out here. Nice early chrono. Now, there's no point chronoing usually unless you're going to do 2 chronos, is what the European kind of zeitgeist is at the moment. Players will tell you. I often do single chrono. But they kind of say, dude, there's no point. It's either double chrono and actually force a response with the 2 adepts or don't do it at all. ZOUN's doing it my style, the single chrono, which I've been told by the European pros is a complete waste of money. I believe what was the analogy Drogo gave, guys? It's like giving a tip to the baker, but not actually buying bread. Going to the bakery, buying, yeah, you're meant to pick up a loaf of bread. Instead, you tip the baker and just leave. You know, he's like, this is so dumb. He's like, you just basically lose a probe of building time. This adept forces 0 response, and it achieves nothing, and it sees nothing. And I was like, oh, I mean, sometimes it sees something, and I'm like, no, in the pro meta right now, it almost never does, right? No one's doing an early all-in. The Oracle keeps you safe against all the Ling Floods anyway. So, yeah. I guess it does speed up the 2 adepts arriving slightly, so that's not too bad. It made him build 2 more Zerglings than normal. Something. Ooh, I kind of feel like he could have committed there, traded for 4 drones. At least 3. He would have got at least 3, I think. Oracle number 1's coming across the map. He wants to be forward pressuring on Rogue. He doesn't want to be stuck defensive, and I think that's a very good call for ZOUN with how the previous series went. Where Rogue was able to make insane comebacks by keeping ZOUN in his corner of the map. Stuck in a defensive mode. Now that Evo chamber should be going down any moment now. Yeah. Yep. I'm not a mind reader, guys. I cast a lot of games. And Rogue has an insanely high percentage of doing this opening. Twilight Council coming into the main. Pretty well timed, about 410. Oh, I like this Overlord in the back. He's going to scout. Zergling runs in the front. Stalker will clean it up, though. Gonna go clean up the Overlord as well. I don't think the Twilight getting spotted really tells Rogue too much of value. You just kind of see the timing. You're not too worried about Glaive Adepts with this timing. And I guess if it was Glaive Adepts, you'd probably be seeing 2 gateways coming up. You'd see the Twilight already being chronoed. You'd have time to make Banelings or Roachhorn. You know what, guys? I got to give Rogue credit. If this was the Glaive Adept I keep calling for, I think he shuts it down. So, obviously that's partially because, you know, ZOUN didn't check for the Overlord sneaking along this left side. If he saw it coming in there, he could have stopped it before it got the scout, but Hats off to Rogue. It's these little details that allow him to get away with the crazy greed that he does. And already 5-minute 4th base. Oh yeah. If you're going to make a lot of Zerglings, you do need that production, so fair call. By the way, I still love this map. I haven't talked about this map much since we've had it for a while. But just this little central water feature into this purple pool of meth water or whatever it is. Terrazine hot springs. Seems like a good time. I feel like you go for a bath in those hot springs and you meet your spirit animal for sure. Depth Shade gets cancelled. Stasis Trap comes in. Doesn't do anything. Just a slight pull of the workers. Good defense for Rogue. And he's up much higher on workers earlier this game, sensing the defensive stance of ZOUN. Oracle's rotating around. Adept's going left. 2 more gateways in the main. That's going to be 6 gateways. No Forge. Into Robo. He wants to play Stalker Colossus. ZOUN does love Stalker Colossus. That really makes you, I think, even weaker to Mutalisks. Problem is, you can't just play Mutas again. Like, if Rogue plays Mutas again, it basically is him saying, I think ZOUN's really bad against Mutas, and it abuses and punishes his style. Okay. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing the subtext right now. He's like, ZOUN, you suck against Mutas. I think I can kill you with Mutas, bro. I'm going to do this every game in 2 back-to-back best of 3s. All right. All right, Rogue. I don't know if this is cocky genius or just really good countering of the opponent. We'll find out. Colossus play not the best against it. Plus 2 melees on the way. He did get Roach Horn and Roach Speed just in case there's a big scary attack of Zealot Archon, but... Oh, those Adepts. A bunch of them finished the Shade. Not good. They're going to get cleaned up almost instantly. There's Lings coming in from all sides. Oh, these Stalkers are isolated. They got to get out of here. They got to get out of here. The Oracles are going to try and save him, but there's a lot of surface area. Oh, it's a massacre. The Stasis Trap gets killed before it can even get down. Absolute massacre. Rogue with mass Zergling wrecks the Blink Stalkers. And this is why you can't let Rogue be getting away with +1 melee every game, because he's so good at shutting down the standard Stalker openings. Oh my lord. The trading is out of this world. You might think 44 Zerg units dead, that's a lot. No, they're Zerglings. They're basically free. 18 units, mostly Stalkers. That is a crazy amount of money. Stalkers are so expensive. Hydrabane transition after the Spire. Dude, this is old school. In HOTS, we used to do this. 1 wave of Mutas, then play a Hydrabane. Used to love this style towards the very end of Heart of the Swarm. Absolutely loved this style. Rogue, even when he came back from the military, I still felt there was like an element of like early Legacy, late Heart of the Swarm in all of his builds. I remember for a while I was like, oh, this is really like outdated play. But he still kept some of that flair. And he's updated it to the modern meta. And he's really just looked so good, man. Just 1 round of Mutas, and then you go back into the more generic ground army. Just forcing a big response. ZOUN does have the Stalkers there, and he blinks forward, gets 1 Muta. Not bad. Front base, though. Cannon's going to go down very quickly. Batteries are insane. Batteries are so good, man. That's like a full Zergling surrounding that cannon, and it didn't die? Like, what the heck? Like, it would have soon, but still. Always impressed with how well batteries heal. Oh, Mutas do take out an Oracle. Another Oracle's going down. He wants to clear the Oracles because then there's not much scouting. 1 Oracle barely survives. There's not enough anti-air right now for ZOUN. He is scrambling to defend. He's on 4 bases. Remember, guys, there was a comeback ZOUN made against Raynor from down like 50 supply in this very similar situation. The difference was Raynor doubled down on the Mutas. This is a much quicker pivot to Hydraling Bane. So Rogue, he's both finding damage and there is a desperation to build Colossus. If you do not build Colossus, remember he did this to you earlier, ZOUN. If you can have 2 Colossus ready for the Hydrabane timing, I think you're fine. Like, you can be down on supply. You've got 4 bases. But he's just building Phoenix right now. He's trying to counterattack with Zealots. And is the Zealot Stalker all in? Oh, these Hydras. He's going to feel so sad when he sees these Hydras. He has no idea about the Hydras yet. They've just been hiding out of vision. And he has to run and chrono Colossus right now. He starts a Colossus. He's chronoing it. Maybe he did glimpse the Hydras. This is really scary, though, because with Bane speed kicking in, Hydra movement speed, plus, he doesn't need to wait for +1 range. It's just these 2 upgrades. Once they're both done in 20-30 seconds, it's go time, and ZOUN is going to have a single Colossus at most. No second Robo, no Templar Archive, Stasis Traps, few batteries, a few cannons. Gateway unit's not the best against Hydrabane. Zealots get wrecked by Banelings. Hydras obviously overwhelm the Stalkers as well. Phoenix will deal with the Mutas. The Zealots are getting chipped at, but some of them will escape. You can see these Mutas will go down, but can you defend the frontal army? That's the real problem. Stasis Trap's not doing what they need to. Fourth base gets isolated. Banelings chasing. The Zealots need to pull back. The Stalkers need to maybe blink on this. I don't know. Oh, the Zealots charge into the Banes. The Probe's trying to evacuate. Rogue just throws his Banelings into the Zealot Stalker meat grinder. It's totally fine. Clicks them under the Colossus. He goes for the probes! Oh, he gets 13 probes and a fourth. And that, even the Zergling manages to tear down the Colossus. It's just a numbers game, man. The Zealots get in and kill a few drones on the other side, but here the last Stalkers get overwhelmed. Stalkers, Zealots are not what you want against Hydrabane. Rogue! Loving his muted play, his upgraded Zergling play. ZOUN has to be doing either Zealot Archon timing or Glaive Adept. He has to punish Rogue for these greedy starts. All right, guys, going into game 2. Rogue at the top right side of the map, and he's just going to take a normie hatch first this time. Did go down a bit early to make sure it was no probe coming in, but not crazily so. It feels like he's predicted that ZOUN was going to play a bit more economical, but ZOUN is doing the subpar economic opening where he goes gate into gas. If you're not going to scout, you should go gas first. This is sometimes ZOUN, as much as I love his play, he's a little rigid, guys. I don't know why you would not go gas first, because the thing is, you're going to go Nexus before Cybercore anyway, so you're still going to start the Adept at the exact same time. The only difference is your probe doesn't wait for the gas. It's just a little inefficient. It's not a huge deal, but the whole point of this opening is to be greedy. He's checking for proxy hatcheries now. He's a bit paranoid, as you should be against Rogue. Rogue's a cheesy boy. Cybercore's on the way as well. Building some probes. Second gas goes down immediately on 21. Got one more probe. And then 22 pylon, which he's going to build here. Here's pretty good. You can fit a lot of buildings on this. You know, if you build it here, it's a little safer if you do get all in somehow and you've got to fall back to your main mineral line. But in general, I do like a pylon that's a bit more out in the open where you can fit tons of buildings on it. One of the biggest low-level Protoss player problems is they build like 3 pylons at their wall, 1 pylon here, and they just have nowhere to put buildings. All right, probes dancing back and forward, Zerglings coming out. Now, how does Rogue mix it up this game, guys? I think at this point, he's going Spire every game, and he might specifically let it get scouted and not build a single Mutalisk. I actually think that might do more damage than going Mutas this game. You've done Mutalisks like 4 games in a row. Do it again. Or at least show it, but then don't actually build it, you know? At this point, ZOUN's going to be blind building Phoenix every single game. Like, he's just going to be like, he's going to go Mutas. But I think ZOUN, like, realistically, just do a timing. You've got to punish Rogue for his greedy starts. His Roachhorn and Bane Nest are almost always very late. As long as you don't let an Overlord scout your entire tech right on 4 minutes 20, right when he can react in time, just hit a Glaive Adept timing. Or either that, or it's either 6-gate Zealot Archon or 4-gate Glaive Adept after one Oracle. So basically what you can do is you can pause the second Oracle, or you can even do Twilight after the second Oracle. It's still fine for Glaives. But if you want to hit really fast Glaives, you actually only build 1 Oracle. Start the Twilight now. It's a little bit of a tell because the second Oracle's late, but it's not like Zerg can always see where your Oracles are at all times anyway, so most players won't notice. Charge opening is also just something that a lot of Zergs struggle with, that Zealot Archon, and you could tell ZOUN's had so much success with 4-gate Blink Pressure. Kind of too reliant on it, and I think that's a really good build to do, but not against Rogue, whose entire style is based around shutting that down. Oh, Oracle does get 2 drones, but it's going to be stuck on defensive duties now for the rest of this game. Third Nexus has gone down, still no Twilight, which means that's just a Blink Twilight. You can do Glaives this late, it's just not going to hit a sharp timing. Evo yet again for Rogue. There are ways to punish predictable players. Rogue does it all the time, but he always seems to put his opponent in this kind of defensive mindset. Look at this. He wants to kill the... No! Oh, man. Well, that's unfortunate. The Stalker was just like, no, he thought about it. If he just killed the Overlord straight away, he could have got back to the wall in time, but because he thought about it for a while, he actually times it out at the worst moment. Let those Zerglings in. Both Oracles get forced home. There are a bunch of Adepts going in, though. There's not many Lings at home. It could be a problem. I like the way he's wasting those Oracles' times. And there is a bunch of Zerglings coming out. I think with the Queens, it'll be enough to defend this quite easily. I think ZOUN should recall these right now. Oh, my. Good recall. He's very good on his recalls. Gotta give credit where it's due. Depths will get out of there. He's back to mostly mining in the main. He's going to fix that up now. Blink's on the way. Third and fourth gate. And it already feels like he's stuck being reactive. Rogue running away with the drone count. Rogue may have lost the first series, yet he's coming to this series with even more confidence. He's just not trying to force the cheese. And ZOUN playing so standard. 6-gate Blink, no Forge. I mean, we know Blinkstalkers and Oracles do not beat Mass Zergling. Especially not with a nice quick fourth. Rogue's got that fourth even earlier this game. He started this at 4.5 minutes. ZOUN's so busy reacting, he's not thinking ahead in my opinion. I think he's going to just play Storm, I guess. Yeah, he goes 6 gas, so he's got to go Templar Archives Forge now. Forge goes down. Got 600 gas already. Looking a little bit like a hero build order. Where is that Templar Archives? Remember, he's going to be worried about Mutas as well. It looks like he's not even going to build the Spire this game, so he's finally going to not build the Spire. ZOUN is desperate to find that Spire. This is the one game where it doesn't exist. Yes, it does. It's a much later Spire. Oh, Oracle barely escapes. So he loses one Oracle. The other one barely escapes. And ZOUN now goes Fleet Beacon. He's going to play Blink into Mothership. So guys, we actually did a test earlier. So when I was casting their previous match, in between the games, we tested Mothership versus Mutalisks because it was a similar situation, right? Turns out Mothership is so bad against Mutas. So what it does is it targets one Muta and its next 3 attacks just attack the Mutas that are close to it. So when it kills one Muta, it's going to change targets to completely different 4 Mutalisks a lot of the time instead of finishing killing the ones that it was already shooting. It's kind of infuriating if you're the Mothership player. Obviously, a Mothership is almost never fighting Mutalisks out on its own anyway. It's normally supporting other units where it doesn't matter that it basically spreads its damage really badly. But if it uses Time Warp, the Mutalisks do struggle. 7 Mutalisks, I think, what was it? 7 Mutalisks if it barely kill it with no micro. I think it was 7 Mutas versus a Mothership and 2 Mutas survive on red hit points. But if you use Time Warp, it gets quite a bit more dangerous. Mothership still obviously beats them cost for cost and supply. But yeah, it's not really the battle you're normally looking at. Spire finished but did not get used, so I guess I kind of called that. And does he know about the Fleet Beacon, guys? Yeah, he saw the Fleet Beacon with the Overseer, didn't he? So he's seen the Fleet Beacon with the Overseer. Rogue's on 83 workers, and he's going Mass Hydra into Storm Mothership. Rogue! I thought you wanted to win! I thought we were going to win. This is the deciding match of GSL Roundabout Group B. Guys, there's nothing this can be except Storm Mothership, and he's building the one thing that it hard counters. Oh no! And he's making air upgrades. What is he going to do? Hydra Corruptor? Is he going to chuck a Loco? Loco is famously one of the greatest StarCraft 2 players to have ever lived, guys. Who has never beat Skytoss in 15 years of playing this game. I apologize. I throw so much shade at Loco for that meme. But yeah, no, Hydras are really bad against Mothership because it can tank a ton of damage and it can cloak and time warp and just waste so much time, and you can kite backwards. You add storms with the time warps, with the Mothership. Hydra's like a useless against this army. So going Hydraling Bane here is a disastrous decision for a man who's scouted the Fleet Beacon. He could have gone Mass Muta, would have been fine. Mutas can fly around and find trades, add Corruptors if you need them for the Mothership. He could have gone Ultra Corruptor for a late game army, would be a great transition. But Rogue is spending all of his money on the worst army possible. Ling Bane, Hydra is countered by Storm, and with the Mothership, it's hard countered. Now, obviously, you could catch him with a Surround, but I don't know, maybe if Rogue drops the main? He does like a massive drop. Look at this, Observer sees all these Banelings waiting. Oh my gosh, he can just like leave 2 High Templar here and just storm them when they run in. I'm surprised ZOUN isn't splitting his army. I feel like an Archon or two Archons and a Storm maybe? But at the same time, the Overlords and the Changeling sees these Zealots. So both players have counterattacks that are getting cleaned up. No Banelings here, so the Zealots, I guess, could maybe trade okay. Yeah, he's going to try and recall. Good move. Saves like 5. Not bad. Banelings. Uh-oh. They ain't doing nothing. He's going to blink after these, get a few of them, but that means he's not in the middle. Uh-oh. Got the stasis traps, the storms. Yeah, you ain't getting nothing done here. Probes running away from the Banelings. Does drop a storm to make sure that last Baneling does not get the probes. And this is a massive commitment to a completely hard-countered army that Rogue did not need to do. ZOUN had no aggression, was sitting in his corner on 3 base for like 8 minutes before even taking a 4th. Rogue has made a strategic misplay. I wonder if he didn't notice the fleet beacon. Maybe he didn't realize exactly what was happening. He's going to go Lurker Den. I think Ultras are the answer. There's one Robo, but no Immortals. Lurkers are really bad against Tempest Mothership. That's another problem. So guess if he Niduses them in the main, there's always a chance, but that Observer on the left looking for drops is really good. Knows that that's a threat. Tempest one-shotting Zerglings very slowly. Hydroling Bane going to try and catch him out, but there's High Templar there. We're at the point in the game you do not want to be. Microbial Shroud and Ultra Cavern on the way. Faster you get to Ultra Corruptor, there's a chance you can take ZOUN down before he's fully established on 5 base. Get a big trade-off before then, but as it is, some good storms coming down. Oh, Banelings could do some good damage. Blow up the Stalker. But not too many probe kills, only 2. That's pretty good defense. Immortals are starting to build, so if that Immortal count gets up to like 5 Immortals before the Immortals come, the Ultralisks come in, it's really, really hard. Ooh, Oracle Archon High Templar coming forwards. Other ship's in trouble. Careful. Tempests get Cloak though. It's not really in trouble, is it? She's tanky, and they actually went after the Tempest, but I don't think any died. This hold is immaculate. That's immaculate. Look at this, guys. Units lost tab. 5,000 advantage. The Hydra Bane is getting traded out, but not cost efficiently. 5th base is coming up on the left. 2nd Robo's here. It's a mass Ultra pivot. I can always trust Rogue to do my trustworthy Ultralisks, but you want to be hitting with these Ultras 2 minutes ago, not 2 minutes from now when he is going to be hitting. And there's no Infestors on the map, guys. He's built Microbial, but no Infestors, no Vipers. Hydra Bane, grab a High Templar, which is cute. I love the movement here for Rogue. He's got Adrenal and +2 on these Zerglings. Storms do cleanse them, but he kills an Archon, kills some High Templar. Pretty good damage. The Observer dies to Psystorm, which is kind of funny to see. Hydra Bane shoving through the middle. I think Rogue's finally getting some decent trades. He's got a real trash army, but he's actually finding some okay trades towards the tail end of this. Slowing down ZOUN a little bit. And I mean, it's still a lot of Hydras kind of wasting supply. But with 7 Ultras in front, if he has Microbials, maybe. Air upgrades are continuing. Got armor coming. +2 and Plasma Shields coming in for ZOUN. ZOUN does clear a little bit of creep there. He's got 1 High Templar on this left side. He's going to see some Ultras coming in there. I like the army splits for Rogue. This is exactly what you want to do. It's more of a just... If he can just snipe the Nexus and get out, the army on the right could do big damage as well. Stasis traps are potentially a problem. The Ultras could go in here. He's going to break these rocks and go in behind that mineral line. These Ultras on the left getting blinked on. Nice move there. 1 Ultra goes down. Good focus fire for ZOUN. ZOUN is going to be dealing with attacks on both sides, but he split his army pretty well, and the Overseers and Hydras need to get out of there. Rogue will have to fall back. He's chipping at the edges. He's not found crucial damage. He should really attack these rocks, in my opinion. Break these rocks from here. He can easily escape if things get troublesome. 2 more Ultras coming in still. No Spellcasters. ZOUN should be making more Immortals out of triple Robo. He's only got double. Maxed right now. I think he's just trying to rebuild cannons, have the storms ready, and not get caught out. +2 carapace, +3 range, +3 melee is already done for the melee Zerg units. The Ultras, the Zerglings, going to be hitting their maximum amount of possible damage. Observer sees him coming. Tempests are there with a few Psystorms. Not the best against this army. Storms do damage Ultras. Not at a very quick rate, but it does matter. 4 more gateways being made as well, so he can quickly rebuild units if he needs to in an emergency. Especially for quickly morphing Archons, that can be very effective. Archons are kind of your one-size-fits-all meat shield unit. Shoots up, shoots down, does a bit of splash damage, wrecks Zerglings. It's not a bad unit to have in the mix. It's not necessarily going to beat the Ultras. It's just going to slow them down a little bit. I've never met a problem a railgun couldn't fix. Don't know what we're quoting in Twitch chat, but I like that quote. Baneling's taking out some cannons that are building. Nothing really impactful. A couple more observers being built here as well. Ooh, a couple of Hydra's gonna try? No. Okay. Hydra for a cannon, or 2 Hydras for a cannon, not terrible. Hydras are kind of trash units at this stage. You'd rather replace them with Corruptors. Ultras are getting choked up a little bit in this place. If you can get in the mineral line, though, with just like a few Lings and an Ultra, they could do damage. Gonna turn and fight the Archons, but then Mothership comes in with the Cloaking Field, and a few of these Archons will get, Ultras, sorry, will get focused. 3 Ultras getting popped there. Gigantic rib cages and claws left to fade into the battlefield. Second Spire on the way. Greater Spire morphing. +3 air weapons coming in for ZOUN. He's queued up armor behind that, and +2 plasma shields. Almost finished. So you might be wondering what ZOUN doing. He's turtling, guys. He's chilling. He plays late game a bit like Showtime. He just chills and looks for efficiency. Rogue needs to do something special to break him. Oh, Corruptors are going to dive on top. The Storms do a lot of damage to both the Corruptors and the Tempests. Ultras going up that ramp getting minced. The Archons! Oh my lord! Tempests all get damaged, but the Corruptors all get killed. I know who wins that trade. Stalkers counter-attacking at the same time. ZOUN does not want these Stalkers anymore. They're low-value units this late in the game. So he's just running around trying to find damage wherever he can. Same time, he's thinking about counter-pushing in the front. Got a few Archons. Oh, actually a lot of Archons. 7 Archons, 3 Immortals, 5 High Templar, 1 Mothership. Not to mention those 7 Tempests. Long-range fire support from above. Zealots on the right side, trying to clear up the creep, trying to deny the hatchery. The main army actually pulls back here. Very conservative play for ZOUN, but it's the correct play. You've got a bank. You're up 10,000 almost in the resource trading. There's no reason to rush. It's going to be very difficult, if not impossible, for Rogue to secure the middle bases. As long as you deny those, and then eventually you can take them yourself. But there's just no rush. As a Protoss player, you just don't want to give any good attack angles for the Zerg. I'm just, that wasn't even a quote. I'm just channeling my redneck ancestors, says Ragnar. Nice. Wait, your redneck ancestors had railguns? We're going to change that in like a, I don't know, a Smith & Wesson or a 12 gauge or whatever, you know. Guess the weapon can change, but the sentiment stays the same across the generations. Very advanced rednecks indeed. Air armor's on the way, Robo as well. Feels like ZOUN's just turtling this up, and Rogue may have missed his opportunity. He's got the Infestors now. Neuroparasite's finished. The Zerg upgrade tab always looks a bit ridiculous, doesn't it, guys, in the late game? There's just so many Zerg upgrades. Burrow, Overlord speed, extra Ultra armor, extra Zergling attack speed, Ling speed, Bane speed. You've got your standard attack armor upgrade, attack for melee, attack for ranged, and ranged or melee armor, or just general armor upgrade, I should say. Air armor, air attack, ultra movement speed off creep, neuroparasite, Hydra movement, Hydra range, or vice versa there, Hydra frenzy, and you've also got that shroud now added on the end. Lots of bright colors as well. Oh, big fungal! Fungal microbial corruptor ultra dive! Crazy fight, but the ultras are all stuck behind each other. Bad angling for Rogue. Good microbials, bad angle. Good, good microbials, bad angle. Is it enough? I don't know, man. He's killing a lot. I think the corruptors all died pretty quickly. This is a big mistake. We always see this, guys, where everyone always attacks into a choke point with their ultras. You've got to split the ultras before the fight starts. I know it's hard to land microbials then, but you need surface area. There was only 3 ultras attacking at a time there, and I think that's what cost Rogue what should have been a resounding victory with catching him with fungal and landing the microbials. Should have been a game-winning fight. Now he's down 12,000, the resources lost, and he is absolutely broke. Yeah, the Archons and the Storms obliterated the Corruptors, guys. Mama didn't just survive, she thrived. She's not even been dented in this game. That's one of my favorite terms, by the way, the kids started using, guys. Dented. You know? There's certain words that come through the ages in slang. I remember when people first started calling people smooth-brained. I thought that was hilarious. But I think the more modern one, which I guess it's not even new these days. It's been around for quite a while, but calling someone dented is just, I don't know, it tickles me. Nice storms, man. Corruptor's diving. Can they get all these air units? The Archon's getting jumped on, pushing back the morphing Archons as well. It's kind of cute, but the Archon's getting overrun. Uh-oh. ZOUN a bit too deep on the map. Gonna lose the mothership. Mama goes down. The Ultra's thinking about chasing in here, but the cannons with the Immortals behind it and the Tempest overhead might be a bit too much. Not only that, oh, DTs! There's DTs! Clicking a DT into each expansion is one of the most brutal things you can do in the late game when your opponent's super tunnel vision on a big fight. Oh my gosh. That is deadly. Another 20 drones go down. ZOUN's like, bro, I've got money, you do not. ZOUN doesn't even have base number 6 yet. ZOUN is just chilling on 5 base, giving no easy attack angles. That's why there's no big gas bank. ZOUN will have to take another base soon, but Rogue just lost the middle. Has lost both right and left side multiple times. Gas is starting to mine out on these bases. Needs to resaturate this little bit of gas that's remaining. This gas here is vital for Rogue. And this base, of course, is still doing well on the right side for now. Sorry, guys. That's my impersonation of a changeling sound. At least before they turn into a Zealot. They are one of the coolest looking units, changelings. I feel like they should be like a cinematic with a changeling. Some sort of little cutscene or something. Take down the rocks over here as well. Zergling's trying to surround the Zealots on the right side. Rogue can still win this game, but he needs to shut this base down. I think he should hit this left side with Ultras again. Swing Zerglings in the right. Then maybe poke the middle at the same time with just 2 or 3 Ultras to start clearing the cannons. I think if he just splits his army 3 ways, he might be able to find some good pickoffs. He's just... It's hard to get going, and he's got no money to spare. So if he loses a few Ultralisks while he's not looking at them, it's actually really bad. The new update introduced Ebola-lings. The changelings, you're calling them Ebola-lings? Nice. The 10 damage bug on the patch test right now. Definitely quite entertaining. Dude, there's an Adept still in this game? She got 7 kills before she died. I think that was the Adept from the wall-off earlier. It's been replaced by a new Zealot. You can tell we're not watching Hero right now. 22 minutes into the game, there's still a unit in the wall-off. Something's recalling, guys. What's that? Oh, is that the Stalkers that just tried to dive in? Ah, okay. Don't really want Stalkers in your maxed army, so ZOUN's kind of happy to throw some of these away, replace them with some better units. Picking off the changelings underneath. There's plenty more there, though. A lot of people like to use Archons to clear changelings, specifically because they do splash damage, so you don't have to click as much. Alright, so ZOUN's decided we secure this base, and then we take this base because it's in front of it. If I lose this base on the left, it's not the end of the world. Mum is here, but there's no recall available for another minute. You can see recall's on cooldown for quite a while longer. Unfortunately, Vipers can no longer abduct the mothership. Could drop parasitic bombs on the Tempest. They could blinding cloud the ground army as well. You blinding cloud the Immortals so they can only attack in melee range. Ultras can just absolutely stomp, but you have to come from 2 sides, and if there's one thing I've noticed, Rogue is so focused on spell casting, which he's excellent at, he very consistently gets his Ultras stuck behind each other, which means he's only going to have 3 or 4 fighting at a time. 12 Ultras, fighting in ranks, not optimal. Needs to come from 2 sides and surround this army. When you play Mass Ultra, it's either that or split your army up and go after the economy, which is not a bad move either. Ooh, I like that. The Zerglings depower the cannons over on that side. They're going to move to the left now. Going to find himself some more infrastructure. Those 3 Adrenal Zerglings do crazy damage. The battery will run out of juice. Dark Templar will eventually defend that. Where you start need to bring Overseers with your army. Broodlords are morphing. Ooh, okay, so Rogue's going to use Broodlords. The problem is they're very weak to Tempests. But you can, you know, throw out those Broodlings constantly, and they can soak a lot of Immortal shots. They can pick away at the ground army. They're not crazy expensive. Where'd the Dark Templar go? Oh, looks like the Dark Templar got F2'd to the front, maybe. Big push moves in. Rogue wisely gives up the base. If he's not ready to fight, he's not going to fight. Oh, every time the Zerglings burrow, then the DTs get pulled to the front. I see. Another 8 drones go down. The harassment's been very annoying. Rogue needs to resaturate the gas here, and he needs to get this base on the left up because he's only really got this one mining base right now. The weak spot for ZOUN is the army supply. He's got too many workers. He can't mine efficiently with all of them. If you see, there's idle workers here. This base is heavily oversaturated. This one's already fully saturated as well. So ZOUN is correct to play very slow and careful. He's also correct to probably throw away about 30 probes here. He could stay up about 60 if he wants to, but anything above 60 this deep in the game against a completely broke Zerg who's just making a huge army, it's very dangerous. Cannon will get taken out. No cancel. Nice move for the Zerglings. Probes coming in, getting killed by the Broodlords. Not bad. 15 Overseers are on the map. He's going to keep sending these Changelings forward, trying to get vision, trying to get an advantage on the Protoss. Lings in an Overseer, clean up the left side. There's a lot of Overseers over there. Oh, he's bringing the whole army. And the Observer sees it, actually. Yeah, down below 60 probes now. That's much better. Can replace with much higher quality units. 3 more Stargates building. So ZOUN's thinking about being able to remax quickly as well if there's a big fight. The pressure is on Rogue to make something happen. But against a guy as defensive as ZOUN who's just roaming the map and defending, it's incredibly hard. Like, ZOUN's just like, mate, I have the more efficient late game army. You have to make a play. I'm just going to wait for you to make mistakes. It's not the most exciting way to play. It's the correct way to play, though. You can never hate a competitor for winning. That's exactly what ZOUN's doing right now.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
One more game after this if ZOUN wins. Ooh, Broodlords get caught. Parasitic bombs, abducts coming in. There's not many corruptors, though. Oh, Fungals land, but the Ultras are all getting stuck in the mineral line. Horrendous attack angle for Rogue. He finally gets the Ultras into the open, but not before they've taken massive amounts of damage. A very awkward fight. The army of Protoss is caught out of the open, though. The Ultras jump on top of it. The Microbials did so much work. What an absolutely bizarre engagement that was. It was such a bad angle for Rogue, but also Protoss was on creep, exposed in the open, which is exactly what Rogue was waiting for this whole time. The Stalker Remax is never a good choice in terms of longevity, but can it find the pickoffs to get the value right here, right now? If he focuses the Ultras, he could do well. He just needs to focus the Reddit point Ultra, blink away, keep doing that. And the Mothership will cover him. Zealot's going to come in this left side, try and focus this hatchery down. Remember, Rogue has no money and ZOUN is rich. ZOUN did not need a great trade. He just needed any trade after playing so safe and taking such an advantage in the units lost tab. He knew that he was far ahead, especially on the minerals. His gas not as high with these gases. Mining on these 2 side bases now. He's got income. And Rogue, of course, losing this hatchery on the left does not. The Broodlords get caught out. Part of why he went Stalkers is he did want to finish those Broods off, and he does take every single Broodlord out. Meaning, he doesn't care about the Stalkers anymore. They've done their job. He can just kite away, try and pick off a few more Zerglings before they say goodnight. And that's it. Rogue knows he's done, guys. No economy. And I got to bring it back to this earlier point. We've got to do a little bit of analysis. He scouted the fleet beacon. And I don't know if he noticed it or not. Because I feel like Rogue here got way too fancy. All right, guys. So Rogue came in at this point. Sees the fleet beacon. Gets pushed back by the Stalkers. Let's go to Rogue's camera. His Spire's about to finish. He's got Roach Speed on the way. He's got a Baneling Nest. He's got 77 drones. And I think Mutas is perfectly fine. I think in his head, ZOUN predicted the Mutas. And that was 2-star Phoenix. You know what? Oh my gosh. He thought, because he's played Mutas so much in this series, he thought ZOUN was playing 2-Stargate Phoenix to hard counter the Mutas. So we went, damn, my plan's not going to work for this 5th game in a row. So he pivots away from Mutas into Hydra Bane. He goes Infestation Den, Hydra Den. But this was just to make a mothership. This wasn't actually to make Phoenix. ZOUN had no idea. He never scouted the Spire. So Rogue here, it would have been fine, but he was like, well, if you're building 2 Stargate Phoenix, Hydra Bane's really good. That's why he did this. This makes so much more sense in hindsight. He thought it was 2-star Phoenix, which usually means there's not many High Templar, there's not much splash damage, it's just Stalkers and Phoenix, maybe a few Archons, which Hydra Bane does great against. But of course, this was Mothership into like Mass Psystorm, which is a hard counter to Rogue style. So Rogue unfortunately got really tricked. Scouting the Fleet Beacon, I think, actually hurt him in this game. Unfortunate for him, lucky for ZOUN. Very nice game 2 for ZOUN. Alright guys, ZOUN in the top left side of the map, Rogue in the bottom right side. And it is going to be the final game of round of 8 Group B GSL. Extractor Trick up against Immediate Probe. No surprises there, both players doing their favorite openings. I think even if you see that probe on this map, you have to take a third. That Overlord is not moving in the direction to see the probe. Drone's not down there. It just gets there way too early. You can't possibly get a hatchery up against that. So Rogue goes down at 35 seconds. Gonna see that probe. Wouldn't it be funny if he goes past and gets the hatchery? But no, ZOUN is quick. ZOUN is very quick, and Rogue will have to go take his third base. Gateway comes up, chrono boost on the probes. Of course, a gas will go down behind it. Very nicely timed. Third hatchery for Rogue as well. Smaller map, a map where it's unlikely to go so late in the game, and it's unlikely for the players to let it get there. Frontal Hydra Bane attacks do struggle, because Protoss can take a third base right here, with a nice easy ramp on the left to defend. And then they can take a fourth base there, and even though it's like, yes, there's a wide open area here and here, the Protoss can just pull their army back from here, and they just move left. And between the Nexus and this area, essentially just becomes a storm paradise. And sometimes they have to pull probes away, but as long as they pull probes away from any Banelings rolling in, it's really hard for the Zerg to actually surround the Protoss army ever. You just kind of end up attacking from the left and the right at the same time, and it's not too hard for Protoss to defend that. So big drops in the main, Nidus Worms, Muta Swaps, all good choices on 10,000 feet. You know, it'd be really cool if Rogue just did a Queen Walk, right? Something that like people very rarely do, like a 38 drone hatchery tech Queen Walk. 2 gases, maybe 3. 8 to 9 roaches, morphing into Ravagers. 4 or 5 queens move across the map and just try to kill him. ZOUN's been so heavy on Blink Stalkers, it's probably not a good idea. I think against a player who's more likely to do maybe a greedy charge first build, it's probably a little bit stronger. Problem is that ZOUN usually goes very quick Blink and quite quick into 4 or 6 gateways, so he's quite well set up with his standard build to defend it. And since he has not punished your upgraded Zergling play in this entire 2 series, I mean, it makes perfect sense to just play +1 melee again, shut down the Blink Stalkers, get control of the matchup. I think ZOUN, on a build order planning level, has, I would say, failed in this his series against Rogue today. Even though he defended the all-ins in the first series, I'm just kind of looking at it and going, you know, maybe now in the final game you redeem yourself, but it feels like ZOUN is just like, I'm favored in this matchup if I don't make mistakes. And whenever I look at a player who's just playing like a defensive, oh, I'm favored if I don't make mistakes style, don't get me wrong, there's moments in the game once you've secured late game where I love that attitude. Like in that last game, it's the right way to play. But going in with that attitude from the start, you're never going to get any easy wins. You're going to be too predictable. It's going to be too easy for your opponent to prepare for you. And that's why I'd love to see ZOUN mix it up and pivot into charge timing, Glaive Adept timing, something different. There's other options as well. Maybe a 3-base Colossus Storm timing. Lots of gas in the bank. Looks like he will just be going for that very standard second Oracle there, and indeed he does. We're getting closer to 4 minutes, so it's usually just about 4 minutes when he puts the Evo down. Because he had to take the third base, Rogue would probably take it closer to about 4:15, 4:20. Just try to focus on his droning for now. Third base gets denied. The Lings don't want to sacrifice themselves. He's going to go for it now, though. He says, hey, wait a second, these Adepts are pretty damaged. Oh, bad shade as well. 2 Adepts here, sloppy, man. Oh, the Lings try to get in. They're not quite able. We'll go after the probe and take it out. Oh no, they do run away. They let the probe live. Evo chamber goes down. About 4:10. So Queen's at home. Good drone count. but hasn't overtaken Protoss yet. So ZOUN's income's been good. Units lost tab already in favor of Zerg. Twilight Councils come down at a very typical timing for ZOUN. I would not be surprised to see 2 more gateways and then 2 more gateways after that. This once again just sets up Rogue to have the favored tech. And to me, it just feels like there's a laziness in ZOUN's play. Where ZOUN is almost, it's this thing that happens where you're like, well, I've got better late game, so I just need to survive there. It's very, very difficult in a strategy game with as many options as StarCraft and as many different ways to play and timings you can hit to just play that purely defensive, very standard, exact same thing every game style. You have to play on another level to just be predictable and get away with it. 6 gateways, blink. Oh, 8 gate, he's gonna push. Okay. That's 7, actually. He didn't build the last one. I think he wants to build one on the front. All right, so he's just gonna do a blink all in. Not a bad way to play. Roach Warren's building, that's not gonna help against this. I think Rogue is like, what are you up to, you know? He's like, oh, what is this? Looks exactly the same as normal. It's just a safety Roach Warren. It's not an early one. It's like 520. His Roach Warrens are so late. It's always so greedy. Now, he's killed 4 drones with the Oracles. Not bad. I'm still laughing about Pig looking like Jamie Lee Curtis in True Lies. What, like when she does the dance for him? Sorry, guys, that's funny. I gotta slick my hair back even more. We can do it. The young Jamie Lee Curtis? Yeah, I can probably remember the dance, right? Jesus. Ling's pulling back. Oracle Stalker coming forward. This is fully committed, right? Oh, he gets the probe. He gets the probe. You can't be losing your probe with this. You need that warp in on the front. Uh-oh. The Revelations are really good to clear the creep. Roaches building. Ravagers could help. Roaches themselves not very good, but Roaches might help. Stalker Adept trying to fight this. The Queen's coming forward. Are they coming too far forward, though? The Oracles could ruin these Zerglings. Nice blink back on the Stalkers. As long as the Oracles don't die and they kill a lot of the Zerglings, it could be good. But a bunch of the Oracle Micro is derping. ZOUN, he ran out of energy on that. The other Oracle died. And then this one did derp a bit because it wasn't on a hold position. But only one Oracle dies. Stalkers and Adepts are going to start to pick things off. I think Rogue might falter under the face of such aggression. He's up 6 workers. He's only got 11 Zerglings. These Ravagers could really come in big, though. The Roach Warren might actually help him more than I thought. He does not want to lose this 4th base. He's building a 5th over there, though, so if he loses it, it's not the end of the game. Remember, this is a 3-base all-in from ZOUN, who already kills one of the Ravagers. Beautiful micro for ZOUN. Really well done, trying to take out those high-value Ravagers. The Lings have +1 melee, though, without any Zealots here, and very little Oracle energy. That's going to be a real problem. One of the Oracles taking a fair bit of damage. The Bile, oh, it's the Oracle. But the Oracle does survive for now. Getting rid of those Queens would be big, because then the Oracles have nothing shooting them, except for maybe potential Biles. There's another Queen arrives on the front. The Ravager's buying time. And I like the way he's keeping his Zerglings back. And in fact, no, he's rotating the Lings around. ZOUN is tunnel vision on the front. The Oracles will go back for the probes. They're all going to die on that 3rd base. ZOUN does kill the 4th, but Rogue gives it up. He says, I don't need to defend my 4th. Fighting off creep is a losing fight. But if I just manage to basically give this base up, take the bottom left hatchery instead, and counterattack, I can give up my 4th, kill the probes on your 3rd, and we are totally fine here. Great play for Rogue. Really just biding his time. It's hard to push through. You need Revelations to clear the creep as well. You do not want to fight on creep. So the further you lure him in, the more of his Oracle energy has to go towards just clearing the creep. And that's a big advantage. Zealots come in. They do not have +1, but they do much better against Zerglings than Stalkers do. Oh, man, the Biles. The Roach is landing. He does eat one of his own Biles, but that is okay. Biles landing across the entire army. The Oracles turn on their lasers, but only one of them has energy anymore. And you can see the units lost tab is almost dead even, which is good for the Zerg because he's up 15 workers. He's got 4 hatcheries. Has he kept up his injects? Yes, he's spending his money. The Roaches might not be the best against the Stalkers, but it's allowing him to spend his money easier. And that is really important in these scenarios. You can see he's still doing some injects. He's going off to injects. The moment he has this high ground advantage, that really helps as well. He uses the Biles to scare the Stalkers away, and he pulls back. I love that ZOUN went for something decisive in this game. I do wonder if Zealot Archon might have been the more game-winning pressure against a guy who opens melee every game, but I do love that ZOUN went for an attack. It is one of his better attacks. He's won a lot of games in the past with this timing. But that first gateway getting caught was really, really big. The Roach Ravager coming forward. Pylon's going to go down as well as the gateway. Got the Oracles dancing around the map. Ling's going to go around that side. Stalkers blink up top. 32 Stalkers on the map. And there's no choice except to go again. Rogue cannot drone too hard. He's going to go Baneling Nest. The reason you go that is to clear any Zealots in the mix, and then your Zerglings can excel against the Stalkers. Obviously, Fungal, holding them in place so they can't blink back, is actually really good if your opponent's on a low economy mass Stalker as well. Normally, you wouldn't be going Infestors against Protoss, but we've seen Dark make amazing comebacks with it. I will always squeeze a few Infestors out on my way to Hive if I'm up against mass Blink as well. If you're in this sort of situation where you know the Protoss can't just pivot to Storm, 4th base, doesn't have the money for any of that stuff, it's always a good choice. And look at that, single Zergling blocks the Nexus. Good micro there for Rogue. Just sends one Ling to get the probe. Sorry. Not the best observing. New probe comes over, 4th base will go up, and Rogue has actually just dropped Lings in the main. Oh, that's adorable. Oh, Rogue's flowing right now. Having fun moves. He's just kind of chilling. Few Zealots. Oh, Oracle, sorry, actually, what comes in there. There's only 3 Queens on this map. Zerglings will damage some Stalkers, not able to kill anything. A few more Lings going around the right side as well. So he's going to go for Mutalisks, or is it Broodlords? Surely Mutalisks. I mean, Infestors would be amazing as well. Ultras could be okay. +2 melee done. Robobay and Forge coming in now. And trying to build more Oracles, interestingly. ZOUN's pretty broke, guys. 52 probes. He's trying to reset to a macro game, but he's doing it from a terrible position. Blink Stalkers do not scale well, guys. They are the spilt milk of Protoss. You throw milk in someone's eye at the start of a fight, it can help you out. If you pour it on the ground and it starts to dry up there, it's not going to be very useful. It's a slipping hazard early on in some sort of physical brawl. After that, the spilt milk ain't gonna do much, and it's definitely not good for drinking. Obviously, with good micro, you can get value. It takes an inordinate amount of attention to keep these boys alive for their very low damage output. 4th base up north, 2nd Robo. Double Robo Colossus. Landing Overlords, keeping Rogue in the corner is nice. These Mutalisks are going to take a lot of the attention away from Rogue's side of the map. And it's already a fragile economy. This is really, really bad for ZOUN. Rogue running into stasis traps all over the map. They're everywhere, but... Dude, these mutas are going to ruin his day. He's going to snap recall. Beautiful recall! Look how quick that was, guys. The mutas immediately go to the right side, realizing that those Stalkers are not able to get there in time. Good play, good play. Big attack on the front as well. Mutas are going to dance around the back. Keep those Stalkers split. Keep your opponent out of position. A few Lings run in there. He goes in a little bit early. Mutas duck back into the natural. He's trying to bait these Stalkers to blinking. So many Stalkers out of position. The probes! The probes! The stasis trap saves the day momentarily, but I think only momentarily. The Mutas are here. They're going to take out the Oracles. The Banelings go into the Stalker Colossus. The Roach Ravager, not really the best army here. Only 11 probes go down. It's a bit weird fighting with Roach Ravager Ling Bane as it doesn't scale that well, but with only 1 Colossus, I think it's fine. The Biles landing mostly dodged. A couple Banelings pop right on top of those Stalkers. The Muta's still dancing around the backline, and Rogue is just so rich. Any trade's a good trade for this Zerg, and I think this is in fact a good trade with how many probes are going down, the fact that the Mutas are still dancing around the back. The Ravagers should try to save themselves. You don't want the Ravagers to all die. So he's going to try and pull back as these Zerglings rally in. Mutas are in the main base once more. ZOUN has lost 24 probes, and that is a disaster. Hive is now done. Vipers, Ultra Cavern, Adrenal Glands, +3 melee, not to mention the Flyer attack, all on the way, and they hard counter this army. Vipers can Blinding Cloud all of these units, which takes away their ability to attack in the Blinding Cloud, except in melee range. You can also abduct the Colossus into your army, and there's nothing here that does very well against Ultras. Stalkers can focus them down over time, but they don't excel at it, and whenever they're not focus firing, they're just wasting attacks on Zerglings. Link Bane, Roach Ravager coming forward. Mutas from behind, trying to pick off these Stalkers as best they can. The Link Bane Roach going after the Colossus. The Oracle goes down just before the Stasis Trap can land. The Stalker's trying to blink away. The Colossus stutter stepping. ZOUN furiously trying to micro his way out of trouble, but hats off to Rogue. It was an excellent hold of a big committed Stalker timing. It all started with him sniping that probe on the way across the map, getting away with his +1 melee opening that he's so good at doing as well. And it was a pretty crisp timing. I mean, look at this, guys. He was over there 6.5 minutes. The fact that the probes were getting picked off delayed this a fair amount and really made it hard for ZOUN to get the attack going. Not to mention the first wave of Stalkers all getting surrounded and killed just before Blink was ready. It's really good for Rogue. GG, well played. Rogue is going to go to the top 4, make it to another semi-finals of the GSL. A well-earned result. Well, I hope you enjoyed that series. If you want to support the channel so that I don't have to haul myself out on my live stream, don't forget to check out my Patreon. There's some cool perks that involve me not wearing this shirt over here. Click the button on scene, and a special thanks to everyone here on the Wall of Bacon. A special thanks to our conductors, the D-Town Express, Pete N, Dragosar, and Oko H. Much love to all of you. I hope you have a better day than I'm having. We'll catch you guys next time. Goodbye and good night. It's a good shout out, right? I can't wait for there's going to be like 1 or 2 comments from people who are like, no! Oh, I knew you was gay!